Hello there, I'm Alison Beere from alisonbeere.com, and in today's video we're going to look at our basic analog cartooning process. So we're going to look at doing a pencil sketch, an HB pencil, then using a nib and Indian ink to fill in the black outline, and then work with watercolor pencils to add the color and detail afterwards. Let's get started. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to draw my character. So let's go with some biggish eyes and her nose. Her name is Doodle, which happened to be my childhood nickname. And like any character, she's pretty much always a bit of a work in progress. But for today's purposes, let's just get her going. I'm going to give her a t-shirt, which is what I'm often wearing, and just get her wandering along, arms and legs moving along. She's in a bit of a hurry this morning. Okay, so there she is, slightly squarer jawed than usual. Hair having a bit of a wild hair day. And that's just my really, really rough sketch. Once I've got my sketch, it's time to break out the nib and the ink. So I will be using my Speedball 513EF. Here is my ink, which is my Winsor & Newton ink, which I always use. It's the one with shellac so that it is waterproof once it's dry. Okay, so here we go. As I said, if you're not happy with your pencil sketch, you can still make changes at this stage. So here I go, putting in a few strands of hair, because obviously I'm going to fill that in with color underneath. So this is just the ink strands to give it a bit of texture. And her nose, actually her nose is a bit big, she doesn't usually look like that. Okay. Putting in her t-shirt, this arm like this. She, as I said, is a bit of a hurry, so let's take it like that. And you can see with my nib I'm getting a reasonable amount of thick and thin going on here, which is always one of the great things about using a nib and ink. And legs, feet hurrying along. Scribble those in with a bit of ink. Okay, so there we have it, pretty much done. Finger hints here. I'm going to put in a ground line just to give her space to be walking and running in. I can put in a few lines under here to imply a shadow, which is actually kind of attached to the ground. And now, very importantly, we need to let this dry, because if we get too impatient and we don't let the ink dry, we will end up with a sad situation where we smudge everything. Now, as I said, this isn't the greatest paper, so it actually absorbs quite a lot of ink and the ink dries relatively fast. The higher quality paper you're using, the longer it will take for your ink to dry. And if you just haven't got the patience, I advise you to haul in your hairdryer and just give the page a bit of a blast, because that is the quickest and easiest way to do it. And of course, you don't want to risk smudging your beautiful work at this point. So that gets rid of all your pencil marks underneath the ink. And now it's time to go in there with color. So I am using Derwent Art pencils. I was lucky enough to be given an entire set by my beloved mother-in-law. So they are actually the watercolor paint names, and I have one which is called Flesh Pink, which I can use for her face. But if you're using something like Inktense, they might not have the same colors. So what I find is that if you use a combination of something like raw sienna, so a sort of an earthy yellow, and the alizarin crimson, you can actually build up the color that you want. And I quite often use this even instead of or as well as the flesh colored pink, because it just gives you a much more organic kind of feel to your color. So you can add a bit of interesting range, I guess, to your color, extra shading. So there goes her face. And I'll do her arms in a similar way. So I'm using the yellow, raw sienna sort of yellow, going in on her arms. And then a little bit of red over the top to give us some extra color. And then she usually wears a uniform with a purplish shirt, so I use a couple of colors there. This one is called magenta, so it's a brighter, more, I guess, on, what would you call it? The sort of pinker spectrum of your purple. And I use that underneath because I want it to kind of glow through whatever I put on top. So that's, my daughter would probably call this Barney pink because she was crazy about Barney the dinosaur when she was small. So that's your Barney pink. And then I go in, this one's actually called dark violet. So I go over the top with the dark violet to give the sort of bluey tones or the deeper purple tones as well. So then she starts to take on this purplish hue. Of course, I've forgotten to colour in her neck, so I'll have to come back to that. And quickly colour her neck so that she doesn't look odd. And then I put a little shadow on her neck as well, just to show that her chin and her face is overshadowed by the neck. And also you can put a little bit of blue down the edge of her face like this to just give it a bit of contour. And I'm going to use this ultramarine blue for her trousers and legs. And then there she is. So if I wanted to get some extra shading into her legs, I can put, I'm just using the dark violet that I had from her shirt as well. And here we have our finished product. I went in and put a reddish brown tone onto the ground so that it just gives her a good grounding, a place to run, and a little bit of blue to emphasize the shadow, because shadows are always cool in color, as well as cool to have and make your images look better. And that is our finished product. Started off with very rough pencil sketch, went in with nib and ink. Once the ink was dry, rubbed out the pencil, went back in with my pencil crayons, and there we have it. Finished product, various shadows and shadings to give her a little bit of extra depth, and she is running along looking very busy today. Did you like this video? If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up on YouTube. And if you'd like even more tips and lessons and things that I only share on email, head on over to my website, AlisonBeere.com, and sign up there for email updates. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.